Greetings, humans. I'm Louis T. Louis K. Townsend for short. I'm delighted to bring to you another drawing video today. The title of this one is Confrontation. It, too, is a scene from The Fall of the Pale Prince, a young adult novel I'm writing and illustrating. This one took a week or more, which is longer than normal. I took the time to get the video quality as good as I could and recorded the time-lapse from start to finish. Like most of my finished drawings lately, I did multiple versions of the same scene, but I only show one version in this video. Hopefully I made my point about showing the full process in my last video. I don't have a lot to say this time, so I will just read the passage in the book that pertains to this image. Roic saw his best friend pushing a wheelbarrow out of the warehouse door, and he waved. "Farlane, where are you going to watch?" "Hi, Roque." Farlane didn't have to call him Lord. "Well, I have to deliver this stuff to a place down on the docks." "Great, let me help you." "Are you sure?" "Why, I don't care if it smells of fish. It's not like we're staying long, right?" "No, but I mean it's kind of dangerous." "So what? It's not like we're going to the borderlands and fighting goblins. Besides, it will be safer for two of us instead of you by yourself." The merchant's son couldn't think of a good response to that, but he still hesitated to agree. "My father usually sends shadow guards to follow me, so they should keep us out of trouble." Farlane shrugged his shoulders. They took turns pushing the wooden wheelbarrow filled with fishing supplies. A large spool of fishing line was the heaviest item. It bumped loudly whenever the cart was pushed too quickly over an uneven cobblestone. Roic liked to do that. The boys saw a few fishermen and other people on the streets, but everybody mostly ignored them. Upon delivery of the goods to a small shop, the owner paid Farlane with a few silver coins. Roic's friend counted the coins and started placing them each in a different place. One went in each shoe, and two went into slots in the wheelbarrow handles. At first, Roque couldn't figure out what the other boy was doing. He smiled to himself when he realized it was probably to hide them from thieves. Farlane must take this security stuff pretty seriously, even for a small sum of money like this. As they exited the shop, the street was empty, and an unpleasant odor drifted on the breeze. Roic heard the door being bolted behind them. They hadn't walked far when a group of 3 dirty young men stepped out of an alleyway and blocked their path. What was this about? Farlane hissed something under his breath when the leader of the trio suddenly had a knife in his hand. He smiled darkly, showing a couple missing teeth. Why would such a ruffian dare to harass them mid-watch? The whole situation seemed absurd to Roic. The delinquent wasn't quick to attack, but he spoke before the king's son could command him to step aside. "What have we here?" He peered into the wheelbarrow and looked the boys over, probably searching for a bag of money somewhere. His companions spread out to block more of the street. He pointed his knife at the prince and opened his mouth to make some demand. Someone cleared his throat loudly on the other side of the narrow street. The troublemaker jerked his head around to see who it was. He seemed surprised to be interrupted. A man in a dark brown cloak had emerged from another alley. He held the garment open just enough to reveal a partially drawn sword. His face was rather nondescript, but his eyes looked dangerous. The gang must have noticed something they didn't want, and were disappearing into the alleyway as Roque looked back in their direction. Encouraged by the backup, he made a rude gesture at their backs when he turned back to wave to the swordsman. There was nobody there. Farlane's sigh was obviously composed of a breath he had held during the short incident. The prince laughed, though he too was relieved that the ruffians were gone. "I told you not to worry," he jabbed at his friend. The merchant's son looked at him as if he had just said that water wasn't wet. They walked somewhat faster than normal, and arrived back at the Fargood shop without further incident. They didn't see any more of the gang or the swordsman. Roek suspected that the man was a shadow guard, even though he wore no symbols or uniform.